My hair. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Courtney. I hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic. So today we're going to be doing my everyday makeup routine. Surprisingly, I actually get a lot of questions regarding my makeup. I don't know why, because I don't think there's anything special about it. I even have my coffee ready, so let's go. So once my hair is clipped back and I've done my skincare, the very first thing I go in with is this primer. This is my Ride or Die primer. So I'll just do a pump here, 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 and here. Just a quick tip for anyone who doesn't know, but if you're using a primer, more specifically these sticky ones, please let it sit on your face and actually dry before you go put on actual makeup products. If you're gonna go straight in with a foundation on top of your sticky primer that hasn't actually set yet, your makeup probably will separate, and that's not what we're wanting. So after my primer is put on my face and I let it sit and dry a bit, I either apply one of these two. Now these two are basically the same thing, but one is from Primark and one is just from any makeup or drugstore. This one is the PS My Perfect Color Flawless Glow, and I use this like every single day because it matches my skin tone perfectly. But if I decide not to use that one because I am running out and I can only get it in Ireland, I will use this one, and this is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and this does the exact same thing. The only difference for me personally is that this is a bit too warm tone for my skin. So I will put some of the product on the back of my hand. Sometimes I put it on my face directly, but it doesn't really matter in my opinion. I'll then go in with a foundation brush and make sure I get a lot of product on here. And then I'll just start applying it around my face. It is, I think, promoted as like a primer, but because my skin has been doing so good, I just use it as a foundation. As you can see, it leaves my skin looking so glowy and hydrated. I always get compliments on my skin when I do my makeup, especially with any of these products. So after I've done my foundation, I always go in with my eyebrows, but I won't fill them in. I will just put gel in them and shape them to whatever I desire that day. Okay, now hear me out. For my eyebrows, I use a spoolie, obviously, and I use Got To Be Glued hair gel. This is fantastic for my eyebrows. My eyebrows will not move like all day. Like, I think if I just didn't wash my face, I think my eyebrows would just stay in place all week with this thing. But as I like to say, if you use Got To Be Glued, you got to be careful. This stuff is strong. Like, do these look the same? I think so. Those are so good. So we're gonna leave the eyebrows for now because I just sculpt them first before I do all my makeup, and then I'll get back to them at the end. I'm gonna go in with a cool tone concealer that complements my skin tone. And I'm just gonna draw a line going about like halfway, if that makes sense. And then I'll put some on my forehead. And I will sculpt my nose like this. And then I'll put some up here too, under my lip. And of course, can't forget the jawline because of my double chin. The contour stick that I'm using is Essence Contouring Duo Stick. Now, you would think that the next step is to blend all of this. No. We're gonna go in with a liquid bronzer, and I'm going to do a dot right above where I did the contour, right there. I'm gonna do one above my eyebrow. Do that obviously on both sides. I'm gonna do one just right over my contour on my nose. And that's it for bronzer for me. Also, another quick tip is if you don't know the difference between a contour and a bronzer, I'm gonna help you. So a contour is a cool toned, almost shadow color that you use to actually sculpt your face. Whereas a bronzer is to add warmth to your face. So that is usually on top or right above your contour, which is also your shadow. To blend all this out, I'm gonna go in with a brush that looks like this. And I'm going to spray it with my setting spray. This makes a huge difference when it comes to blending your makeup. Always blend up because we wanna sculpt our face and we wanna look snatched. So always blend up if you can. Blending up really does make such a big difference. Like, look at that. My face looks lifted. Also, always make sure to do tapping motions. I don't swipe my makeup. I will always tap. Tap it in place and tap it around. When blending my jawline, I always blend it down my neck because you don't want your face and your neck to be two different colors because that looks crazy. And specifically for my nose, I go in with a smaller brush like this one where I can just be a bit more precise. For my nose contour, I just like to keep the product where I originally put it. So I'm just tapping it in place. I'll bring it up into my eyebrow just so it blends into my face. So now after my primer, foundation, contour, bronzer, I'm gonna go in with blush. I personally prefer to use a liquid blush, especially since the rest of my makeup right now is liquid. So I'll go in with this top one here. This is PS Sweet Blush Duo, cream and powder. I also feel like cream blushes just like soak into your skin and it looks really natural. When applying my blush, I will smile and I'll find the apples of my cheeks, which is very obviously right here. So I'll just follow where I put my bronzer. That's so pretty already. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it really does make such a big difference when you use blush. I also don't get scared of blush. Like, blush blindness to me is just not a thing. So I will go heavy on blush, but it doesn't really matter in my routine if it's heavy on the blush in the center because I will go over kind of the edges with concealer. So I will just keep applying this blush. After blush, this is when I go in with concealer. For concealer, I have to be so honest, I have no idea what this is. Like, I don't know what brand this is because I have it destroyed. But if you know what this is, please leave it in the comments, and if I can, I'll pin it because this concealer is my ride or die. So for concealer, I will just go in just under my eyes. I won't go right up to the top because I noticed that when I do that, it does crease. So I will just put it over like that line of like the bags under my eyes. I'll do some by my nose because I do get some redness there, covering any pimples or breakouts that I have. And then to make our face even more lifted, I will follow the corners of my lips. So and I'll just go up and I'll do that on both sides like that. And then I will also do it with my eyes because we do want that lifted look, or at least I do. After I have my concealer in place, I am going to spritz it with my setting spray. And be generous with your setting spray, okay? Don't be afraid. Just like primer, I'm going to let it sit and dry and just soak into my face. Once I think the setting spray and the concealer has just sit on my face and I think it's dry enough, I'm gonna go in with a brush like this. Please ignore my brushes, they do need to be cleaned. And I will just start by tapping the product in place. When tapping my inner corner concealer in, I will bring it down my nose because I do like a really heavy contoured nose. And it just makes my nose look even more like teeny tiny. I always focus my concealer around my T-zone because I feel like it just brightens my face. I'm just gonna blend this up and really carve out the shape that we made with the contour and the bronzer. Again, don't be afraid of any harsh lines because I will be going over all of this with my foundation brush just to blend everything together because I look absolutely crazy right now. Going in with my foundation brush, I'm just gonna blend all of this out. And I will, like I said earlier in the video, I will go over the apples of my cheek because I want to blend that blush in. I don't like a harsh blush, but I do like a heavy blush, if that makes sense. This is where I go in with a big brush and I go in with translucent powder. So I'm just gonna dip my big brush into powder and I will just get rid of some of that like excess powder on the back of my hand, which clearly is a lot. And then I'll just go all over my face. I think it's one of the only steps I have that I'm not precise with. As long as this powder is all over my face, I am happy. Because I need this makeup staying on all day. I look like a ghost. Is this better? Okay, that's so much better. I look like a ghost there. Now that my face is entirely set with powder, this is where we go back and do absolutely everything we just did, but in powder form. So back to contour, we have a cool shade powder and we are going in with just any brush. I'm going to tap over where I originally put my contour because I want to bring those colors back into my face, especially since they're just sitting under powder right now. Just to show you the difference, here's one side with the contour powder on and here's the other side with none. Just anywhere that I put contour at the very start, that's where I'm putting this powder. If anyone is actually following this makeup tutorial, I am so sorry because I know that this is a lot of steps that may seem unnecessary, but this is just how I do my makeup, okay? Bronzer. And with the same brush, I go in with the powdered blush. Look how pretty this is. Now I'm gonna go in with another powder. I'm so sorry, but it's Rimmel London Stay Matte powder. But I will go in with this. I'll go in with a dirty, used a million times powder puff. This is an absolute must as well for my under eyes. I'll show you the difference it makes here too. So this side is with the powder and this side is without. Such a huge difference. At least from what I can see in the mirror, there's a huge difference. And then I'll just bring it down the sides of my nose. Next is the very last step of my base routine. And that product is highlighter. Now, I know what you're thinking, Courtney, this is not 2016. We don't need highlighter. It had its moment, but to that I say, and no. I need to look like a disco ball when I'm going out and about in my day-to-day life. I need to be sparkly. I need to be shiny. This is my go-to highlighter. It is Fenty Beauty and I have the pink one. I don't know the name of it, but there's only two. There's the white one and the pink one, and this is the pink one. I'll start up here and I'll just bring it just below or in line with where my pupil sits, if that makes sense. So my pupil sits here, so I'll bring my highlighter to here and oh, I use this every day and it shocks me every time. It's just so pretty. This is the highlighter that I use on my cheeks, like this. And then for my nose, I go in with the Rare Beauty highlighter. I don't know what shade this is, but it is well loved, and I also dropped it by accident and I did cry. I will admit I did cry. For my nose contour, I go in with an itty bitty teeny tiny brush and I will just put some product on there. And I will just do the tip of my nose and down the middle. Now, again, I know you're gonna give out to me because it's not 2016, but I still put some highlighter just under the arch of my eyebrow because I don't know what it does, but it just looks so good. Okay, so finally we're actually at the end of my base routine. That is my whole base done, and now we're gonna go into eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I do use an eyeliner because I have black hair and I like my eyebrows to be dark. I go in with the Essence Stay and Play Gel Eyeliner Pot. I promise that even though that this is giving 2016, I don't make my eyebrows all blocky. I promise, they look beautiful. I don't really change the shape of my eyebrows. I just want my eyebrows to look a bit more full. I also don't want my eyebrows looking too bushy. Some people can really pull off, like, you know, that clean girl, like, slicked back bushy brow, and I tried and it just doesn't suit me, but some of you girls can really pull it off and it looks so pretty. Now, some people would think that I will go in with mascara next, but no, I don't know why, but I like to do my lips now and then my eyes last. So for my lippity doodads, I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Rouge Gel Lip Liner in shade 28, Sink or Suede. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm dyslexic, so I don't know. I am just going to overline my cupid's bow like this. I'll only go halfway on each side, so I want my lips to look like pouty rather than big. I'm just gonna do like a circle. It's really hard to talk while doing my lips. So I only have lip liner in the center of my lips. I will go in with a lip gloss, just any lip gloss. As long as it's colored, it has to be a colored lip gloss or else the lip liner is gonna look crazy. So that is my lip combo. And next we're gonna go in with mascara. I go in with the Rimmel London Wonder Extensions Lash Extensions Effect Mascara. That's the exact one that I use. And the very last step, setting spray. And I think that sums up my everyday makeup routine. As you can see, I like the clean, glowy, snatched kind of look. And this routine just kills it every time. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!